Hi everyone, it's Rita here with another video. Today someone requested that I talk about developing a safety plan. Somebody actually asked me to go into a video about this, so I am more than happy to share this information. Before I get into the video, please be sure to like this video, give it a thumbs up, but most importantly, if you haven't already subscribed, do that. But as I said, most importantly, even if this video does not pertain to you or apply to you, it might apply to someone else you know. Knowledge is power, and one of the most important things we can do is share this information with someone else. That is the best way to help break the cycle. So please be sure to share this video with someone who might need it. Now, when you're in a domestic violence situation, and you have finally made your mind up that you want to leave and you are positive that you want to leave this situation, developing a safety plan is crucial to you. It's going to make the difference between you being stuck, continuing to be stuck in this situation, or finally being able to break free. Statistically speaking, a woman will return, not just a woman, anyone in a domestic violence situation will return to the partner as many as 7 times before they finally break free, or before they don't have a choice any longer and they lose their life, or the situation just becomes too violent. There is no other choice at times. So let's try and break the statistic of leaving up to 7 times, and let's try and develop a safety plan so you can leave and not return before it gets to that 7th time. Now, I can honestly tell you, I don't remember how many times that I left the domestic violence situation that I was in. For those of you that are new to my channel, I am a survivor of 20 years of domestic violence, both physical, emotional, and financial. You name it, I have definitely been through it. So I want you all to know that you can leave and you can be free from this situation. Just having faith that there is hope, knowing that there is a way out, is what will really keep you going. My children kept me going, and also just knowing that I could not go and continue to be in that type of a situation any longer. Those things kept me going, okay? So let's break that statistic, okay? One of the first things you want to do, before I get into that, I'm sorry, I got my information directly off of the National Center on Domestic and Sexual Violence, based out of Austin, Texas. This website is www.ncdsv.org. Now, on this website, and this is exactly the information that I'm telling you guys today, they actually have this PDF, okay, that you can print off, that gives you, that helps you to kind of write out and plan your safety plan for leaving, okay? Not only does it have the safety plan for leaving, but also safety plan when you're actually in the middle of that violent situation. Sometimes you need a plan, and ladies and gentlemen, as you know, when you get into a crazy violent situation, you know, we have to find different ways to protect ourselves sometimes, whether it's hiding in a room or running away to somebody's home. Part of that is also in the safety plan for leaving as well. So the first thing, and you're going to find that information in the description. I actually am going to put this website in the description down below, along with the number for the Domestic Violence Hotline, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and also the Children's Child Abuse Hotline as well. You're going to find all of that in the description down below, okay? So the first thing that you need to do is find someone that you can trust. Find a confidant. A lot of times when you're in a narcissistic and abusive situation, they tend to want to isolate you and kind of keep you away from everyone so that you don't have a lot of resources. That's something that abusive and narcissistic people love to do. The less people that you are able to communicate and connect with, the better. You will hear my children kind of yelling and screaming in the background. It's just what it is. Okay, so finding at least one person that you can count on is definitely going to help you. I also have a video called Adding Tools to Your Toolbox, which is about leaving the situation as well. So be sure to check that video out as well. It does also have information on leaving the situation and what else you need to do. So finding that one person that you can trust, whether it's your neighbor, whether it's your mailman, whether it's the librarian, whether it's a teacher. I mean, you can use your child's teacher kind of as a confidant if you need to. I'm not sure exactly how things work in every country. In the United States, you know, we have a lot of different places, people and places that we can kind of use as resources. So you're going to have to do your homework, and you're going to have to figure out who you can use as a resource. Who can you find as a confidant? Is it someone that you might go to church with? Is there someone that you can trust, who you can confide in and say, look, I'm in this situation. I want to leave this situation, but I can't do it right away. Can I trust you, and can you help me? That's one of the most important things that you need to do, is find that person who you can count on, okay? Now, getting a set of extra car keys if you have a vehicle. As we know, sometimes our partner will take the keys so that we can't leave. My ex loved to keep any vehicle that we had in his name or in his mother's name, and always say, if you leave, I'm going to, you know, say that you stole the vehicle, you know. So that was kind of like something, one of those ways that he always like tried to keep me from taking off. And, you know, I didn't want to deal with all of that, you know, being accused of stealing a vehicle thing. One of the next things you can do is save some money, even if it's a little bit at a time. I do understand, though, in many situations, that wasn't the case for me, but in many situations, you might be a stay-at-home mom, so you don't have that option. Now, if you don't have the option of saving money a little at a time for an apartment, you know, you're going to have to use your resources, find out, are there local shelters? Is there some place that you can go? Do you have some place that's kind of like a Catholic Charities or a Roots and Wings? In a lot of cases, even if there's not places like that right in your town, there might be places in the next town over, depending on if you're in a city or if you're in a small town or whatever. It really all depends on where you're living, okay? Make copies of documents, of birth certificates. You need copies of your social security cards, insurance cards, any type of thing that you have to make a monthly payment on. You need to make copies of that, get it in a folder, and put it all together. Now, the copies of everything, the little bit of savings that you might have, and also the extra set of keys. If you have that person who is going to be your confidant, giving those things to that confidant is going to be crucial for you later on down the road. Now, I can tell you personally, once again, that it took me 6 months to leave. I did all of these things a little at a time, and all I was doing was moving across town, literally moving across town. But I was scared to death. I was, honestly, I was so afraid that I wasn't going to be able to make that move. And it was a small move across town. We're talking about a mile or less across town. And I actually moved near the police station right in town. We lived across the river, and I said, I'm just going to move across town. As little as a move as it may seem to be, it ended up being the biggest move for me and the best move that I ever made in my life. But I was still afraid that I wasn't going to be able to accomplish this without proper planning. Okay. The next thing that you need to do is handwrite any important phone numbers that you have, and also make sure that's a part of your documentation as well. Get all of those numbers handwritten on a piece of paper. Even if it takes you an hour, it doesn't matter. That is considered a document that needs to go into that folder with the rest of your information. The reason why, your partner might break your phone. It's very possible for your partner to say, you think you're gonna call somebody? Try and remember, some of those key numbers. Try to memorize them as well, because that's really gonna help you in the long run. As I said, again, check your local agencies and find out, your resources, who can help you. The last thing that you need to do is pick a date to move. Pick that date and stick with it. Say, you know what, I'm going to move 6 months from now. As you get closer and closer to that time, another important thing I want you guys to remember is don't broadcast that you're doing this. You don't need to, literally, you need that one confidant to know, and that's it. I know it's hard to keep secrets sometimes, but we don't want to go around telling the entire universe, I'm leaving my husband, I'm finding an apartment and I'm getting out, I can't take it anymore. No. This is one of those things that you really need to keep to yourself for as long as you possibly can. Now, as I got closer, I would probably say within 2 to 3 weeks of moving, I did tell my coworkers. I knew that they weren't going to say anything to my husband because they weren't friends with him, and they weren't going to say anything to anybody else. They understood the situation because I had left before, but they knew at this point that it was very serious and I just wasn't going back. So as I got closer, I needed, them to rally around me. So I told them, and they supported me. And it really, in the long run, just them just loving me, being my shoulder to cry on and being there for me just before I left was the key to the final push for me. I did even tell my boss, I said, you know what, I'm going to have to take a day off because I chose to move on a work day, which is also very crucial. What you want to do when you're picking your date is make sure, you know your partner better than anybody. If a certain day that they're going to be gone for 4 hours, a certain day they're going to be gone for 6 hours. Pick, a day and a time where your partner, where you're absolutely positive that your partner is going to be gone and they are not going to be back for a little while. Also, something else that's very important is when you do finally move, you want to really think about what do I really need? Do I need to pack up my entire home and take it with me? Or do I just need to take the things that are the most important to me? Now, if you can take out a few sentimental things before that time, if you can kind of slide those out and have somebody hold on to anything that's important to you before that time, that's going to be helpful. But really think about, if you're going to move 10 tons of furniture, it might not work out in your benefit. And I'm telling you guys right now, anything that you lose when you choose to make this move is going to come back to you tenfold. Okay. Wow. My little hands is just screaming as loud as she can. But anything, honestly, anything that you give up materially, okay, you're gonna get it back. I promise you. It's not gonna happen overnight. Just like your well-being and your happiness and your joy, you're not gonna leave and feel 10,000 times better overnight. It's gonna take time. But anything that you guys give up for freedom is going to come back to you. I promise you guys. It's a very frightening experience, but you have to just be consistent. And as I said, you have to believe that you deserve something better for your life. Okay? So as I said, just want to remind you guys again that the link for this wonderful piece of paper is in the description box. Please feel free to like this video, share this video, and comment on it. And if you have any questions about it, I am more than happy to answer any questions. If you guys have any other videos that you would like for me to do, I have plenty more information, to keep the videos coming. But please feel free to let me know how you guys feel about all of that. So please be safe and just make the right decisions. And as I said, remember, your freedom is worth everything. Okay? So thank you so much, guys.